So there I was, on my knees on the asphalt at 11 p.m., hands cuffed behind my back while my 9-year-old daughter's face pressed against the living room window, watching her dad get treated like a criminal. 3 cop cars, sirens wailing, that hot pavement smell mixed with the diesel from their idling engines. My neighbors recording everything on their phones. And there's Diane Kressler in her $60 yoga pants telling the police she owns my house, the house I've lived in for 20 years, and I'm some squatter who won't leave. The cops believed her. At first, what Diane didn't know while she stood there smirking, those foreclosure papers in my back pocket made me the landlord of every single house in Meadowbrook Estates, including hers. Ever had a neighbor mistake a laminated name badge for a crown? Drop your worst HOA horror story below. Watching from inside an HOA right now? Subscribe, because this gets so much better. Let me back up 6 months. My name's Max Brennan. 43, widower, single dad to Riley, who just turned 9, the first birthday without her mom there to sing. Jenna died 18 months ago. Ovarian cancer. Stage 4 by the time they found it. We had 7 months from diagnosis to funeral. 7 months of hospital smells. That mix of antiseptic and fear that sticks in your clothes. 7 months of watching my wife disappear inside her own body while our daughter learned to be quiet in waiting rooms. The medical bills are still coming. $17,000 left, even after insurance. I'm a commercial electrician, 20 years in the trade. Own a small contracting firm, 4 guys, 3 trucks, enough work to keep food on the table, and Riley in gymnastics. The house is paid off, thank God. My grandfather left it to me in 2003. A 1970s ranch on 2.5 acres, Pinecrest Road, just outside Kansas City. It's the only reason we survived Jenna's treatment without losing everything. Here's where my life got complicated. My property sits inside Meadowbrook Estates HOA boundaries, but I'm not a member, never have been. Back in 1998, a developer named Lawrence Kressler bought 300 acres of farmland surrounding my grandfather's place. Planned a whole subdivision, Meadowbrook Estates. Started building in 2008. Pool, clubhouse, the works. My grandfather refused to sell, told Kressler he could build around him, but the Brennan land wasn't for sale at any price, so they did. Built around me like water around a rock. Created this weird situation where I'm an in-holding, surrounded by HOA property but not subject to their rules. It's in my title deed, county recorded, legal as concrete. The HOA formed when houses started selling. Usual covenant stuff. Approved paint colors, no commercial vehicles visible from street, lawn maintenance schedules. None of it applies to me, but somebody put me on the mailing list anyway. 3 years ago, HOA meeting notices started showing up. I ignored them, not my problem. Then came violation notices, grass too long, work truck is an eyesore. Mailbox doesn't match community standards. I kept ignoring them. That's when Diane Kressler decided I was her personal project. Mid-50s, blonde highlights, real estate agent at Hartman Realty. You've seen her face on bus benches. White Lexus SUV, vanity plate, sold for you. Lives in the biggest house in Meadowbrook, the one with the koi pond that probably costs more to maintain than my annual salary. She's also the HOA president, 6 years running. And, this is the fun part, she's Lawrence Kressler's ex-wife. The developer who built around me, that's her ex. Messy divorce in 2015. She got the real estate business. He kept the development headaches. She showed up at my door on a Saturday in July. Riley and I were planting wildflowers in the front yard. Native Missouri species, from Jenna's garden journal. Her last spring, Jenna had sketched out this whole design. Purple cone flowers, black-eyed Susans, milkweed for the monarchs. Riley was covered in dirt, happy. First time I'd seen her really smile in months. Then Diane's Lexus crunched into my gravel drive. She got out holding a clipboard like a sword. That day's power outfit involved a statement necklace that could have funded Riley's braces. Mr. Brennan, we need to discuss your property compliance issues. I stood up, brushed dirt off my jeans. Kept it polite. I'm not in the HOA, ma'am. Never have been. Showed her the title deed language. I keep a copy in the kitchen drawer now, laminated. The exception is right there in black and white. She laughed, not a chuckle, a full dismissive laugh. That's not how this works. Developer mistakes don't override current covenants. It's not a mistake. It's recorded legal language. The smile never reached her eyes. We'll see about that. Next morning, Sunday, because of course, there's an orange violation sticker plastered across my truck windshield. 3 inches tall. Violation, in angry red letters. Not a legal notice, just a bullying tactic. I spent 20 minutes scraping it off with a razor blade. Metallic scrape against glass. Sticky, adhesive residue that reeked of cheap citrus cleaner. My fingers smelled like it through 2 hand washings. Riley watched from the porch. Why is the mean lady mad at us? That's when I knew Diane Kressler wasn't going to stop. The violation sticker was just the opening shot. 2 weeks later, I'm downtown rewiring a medical office when my phone rings. County code enforcement. They'd received complaints about my property. Unpermitted electrical work, illegal home business, septic system failure. None of it true. Doug Simmons showed up next morning. County inspector, 50-something, tired eyes that said he'd seen every petty neighbor war Missouri had to offer. He spent an hour walking my property with his clipboard, checked my electrical permits, all legitimate, tested the septic with some kind of probe, functioning fine, pumped 6 months ago. Looked at my illegal business, 1 desk, 1 computer, 0 employees. He closed his clipboard. Off the record, we get 3 or 4 of these a month from Meadowbrook. Same person every time. I remembered reading somewhere that false code complaints are public record. Can I request the complaint history? Absolutely. And if someone's filing multiple bogus reports, you can pursue harassment charges. They might face fines for wasting county resources. He handed me a form. Just so you know? After he left, I spent 3 hours digging through county records online. Found the pattern. 6 years. 11 properties targeted by Diane's violation complaints. Older residents who couldn't maintain landscaping. Single moms with toys in yards. A guy who restored classic cars. 8 of those 11 families sold within 6 months. I cross-referenced the sales, every single one listed by Hartman Realty. Diane was harassing people out, then collecting 6% commissions. A shakedown with a clipboard and a laminated name badge. I called my buddy Reggie that night. We served in the guard together. He's a paralegal now. Met at the VFW on Fish Fry Thursday. That smell of hot grease and stale beer, click of pool balls from the back room. Reggie scratched notes on a bar napkin while I explained. Tortious interference, he said. She's using authority for personal profit. You could sue her personally. What do I need? Everything documented and, he tapped his pen. HOAs in Missouri are quasi-governmental. Sunshine law applies. You can request all their records. Financial statements, meeting minutes, everything. I filed the request next morning. Certified mail. Diane delivered the denial herself 3 days later. Single page held like a weapon. Attorney-client privilege. Request denied. That's not how sunshine law works. Take it up with our attorney. She turned away, then stopped. Oh, and move your truck. It's blocking the street. It wasn't. I was parked in my own driveway. Next morning, 6 a.m. morning, I had a huge client meeting. Orange traffic cones blocked my exit. No markings, no city notice, just harassment. I moved them by hand, threw them in my truck bed. 45 minutes late to the meeting. Lost the contract. $8,000 gone. That afternoon, Riley's carpool mom forgot to pick her up from gymnastics. Riley waited an hour. I left another job site early to get her. The carpool mom was Diane's friend. That night, Riley asked if we should move. She was in bed, stuffed rabbit under her chin, the one Jenna gave her, voice barely a whisper. Daddy, would it be easier somewhere else? I wanted to say yes, but after she fell asleep, I found Jenna's garden journal. Pressed flowers, notes in her handwriting. Riley had asked earlier if we had to dig up Mommy's flowers. I pulled out my phone, recorded a video statement, documented everything. The stickers, false complaints, blocked driveway, forgotten carpool, built a timeline. Then Doug Simmons texted me, just a link, Kansas City Business Journal article about real estate trends. Buried 6 paragraphs down. Hartman Realty in acquisition, talks with RE/MAX. Some agents under ethics review for subdivision steering practices. Diane was vulnerable. If corporate discovered she was abusing HOA power for commissions, she'd lose her license. I called Reggie's boss Monday morning. Marla Desmond, attorney specializing in property disputes. Scheduled a consultation. Sunday night, I walked out to grab my tool bag from the truck. All 4 tires slashed. My security camera, installed after the cone incident, caught someone at 3 a.m. Black hoodie, face hidden. But the walk, the height, the build, female. Diane's size. I stood there in the driveway, smell of rubber and night air, looking at 4 shredded tires. $4,500 to replace them. Money I'd saved for Riley's birthday trip to Silver Dollar City. Called the police, filed a report. They said without facial ID, nothing they could do. But I knew. And more importantly, I had it on video. Reggie texted me at midnight, don't do anything stupid. We meet with Marla Wednesday. Let her build the case. I stared at that message for 10 minutes. Then I screenshot the security footage and added it to my evidence folder. 17 documents now. Dates, times, photos, videos. Diane wanted a war of documentation. Fine, I'm an electrician. I know how to follow code. I know how to document every wire, every connection, every detail. I'd document her right into a courtroom. 1 week after the slashed tires, I finally had leverage. My buddy Reggie set up the meeting with his boss, Marla Desmond. Attorney, mid-40s, office smelling like leather-bound law books and expensive coffee. The kind of woman who probably won awards for most intimidating cross-examination. I laid out my evidence folder, 17 documents, chronological order, color-coded tabs. Yes, I tab things. I'm an electrician. We label everything or people die. Marla spent 20 minutes reviewing, making notes in red ink that looked like surgical cuts. This is a solid harassment case, tortious interference, intentional infliction of emotional distress. She looked up. But I want to show you something else. She pulled up county records on her computer. I ran financials on Meadowbrook Estates HOA as an entity. They're not just petty, they're broke. The spreadsheet made my stomach drop. How broke? They owe $340,000 to the original developer. Balloon payment due in 4 months. Reserves are at $90,000. They're nowhere close. Wait, they collect $1,200 a year from 127 homes? Where's all the money? Her finger traced a line item. Here and here and here. Kressler Property Solutions, $18,000 for consulting. No contract. KPS Landscaping, $22,000. KPS Property Management, $15,000. All LLCs registered to Diane's business address. She's been stealing from the HOA? Self-dealing, illegal under Missouri statute, but here's the interesting part. Marla leaned back. If that balloon payment isn't made, the developer can foreclose. On the HOA itself, the common areas, the amenities, all of it. I filed the police report on my tires that afternoon, brought the security footage, got a case number. The officers seemed sympathetic but realistic. Without a face, not much they could do. Riley was with Jenna's parents that week. I'd told her it was special grandparent time, didn't mention I wanted her away while things escalated. She was excited about staying up late watching old movies with Grandma. 5 days passed, quiet, no Diane sightings, no new violations. I started thinking maybe the police report scared her off. Then came August 16th, 10:30 p.m. I was in the garage working on Riley's birthday present, wooden dollhouse from Jenna's sketches. Country music low on the radio, the smell of wood glue mixing with polyurethane, that chemical sweet scent that sticks in your nose, August heat still radiating from concrete despite the open door. Red and blue lights exploded across my workbench, then sirens, 3 cruisers sliding to stops. I stepped out, hands visible, mind racing through possibilities. Neighborhood break-in? Gas leak? Max Brennan? Young officer, hand near his weapon. Yeah, what's wrong? We have a report of trespassing. Possible squatter situation. Are you Max Brennan? The words didn't connect at first. I own this property. I've lived here 20 years. Sir, the complainant claims she recently purchased this house and you're refusing to leave after eviction. Diane's Lexus sat at the curb. She emerged in yoga pants and a North Face fleece, doing this whole distressed victim performance. Officers, thank God, he's been squatting for months. I've tried to be understanding, but I'm actually frightened. That's insane. I own... Sir... The officer's hand went up. Let her finish. Diane handed over papers. Lease agreement with my name spelled wrong. Brennan. Eviction notice on fake letterhead, all printed on what looked like her home printer, slightly off-center. Do you have proof of ownership? Yes, inside. I'll accompany you. The walk to my own kitchen, with a police escort, to prove I lived in my house. Neighbors on lawns with phones up, recording. Riley's bedroom window visible, curtains she'd picked, sunflowers, lit from within by her nightlight. Thank God she wasn't home to see this. I pulled the deed from the kitchen drawer, title insurance. 20 years of property tax receipts with this address. Sergeant Kowalski, senior officer, maybe 50, with the exhausted eyes of someone who's seen every stupid neighbor dispute Missouri offers. Reviewed it all on his laptop. County database, my license, cross-reference. He turned to Diane, voice very calm, very controlled. Ma'am, this man owns this property outright. These documents you provided, we'll need to discuss you filing a false police report. Diane's performance cracked. I don't understand. The title company said, ma'am, you need to leave, now. She walked to her Lexus, drove away, silent. Kowalski handed back my documents. Mr. Brennan, I apologize. We respond to all calls, but this was clearly frivolous. Can I press charges? You can file a criminal complaint. I'd also talk to a lawyer about civil action. After they cleared out, Herb Vance shuffled over. Elderly guy, 3 houses down, hadn't spoken to me since Diane started her campaign. That was horseshit, he said. She told us you were cooking meth. Time we stopped believing her. Text from Lisa Cho at 11:47 p.m. Saw everything. Half the neighborhood did. We're done with Diane. I sat in Riley's room afterward, her stuffed rabbit on the pillow, the walls still smelling faintly of the lavender spray Jenna used. My daughter asked to stay extra days with grandparents because she didn't feel safe here. Called Marla at midnight. Left a voicemail. I want to sue. Everything. Let's end this. Diane went nuclear 48 hours after the cops left. Lisa Cho texted me at 6 a.m. with a screenshot. Facebook, Meadowbrook Estates Community Group, 472 members. Diane's post showed my property photographed with a telephoto lens. Red circles around my work truck, the wildflower garden, peeling garage paint. The caption was pure fiction wrapped in concerned neighbor language. Shaken after Tuesday's incident. Attempted to discuss violations with a resident who became verbally threatening. Had to call police for my safety. Asking all residents, especially women and children, avoid contact until resolved. Our property values must be protected. 89 comments in 3 hours. Thank you for keeping us safe. Property values are dropping because of people like him. This is why we need our HOA, Lisa posted a factual correction. Deleted in 20 minutes. Herb Vance tried commenting, kicked from the group. By noon, Diane had cross-posted to 3 other community groups, adding vague mentions of unlicensed contractor concerns. My phone rang at 1 p.m. The downtown renovation client. 2 weeks of negotiations, contract almost signed. Max, we've received concerns about your company, professionalism issues, possible licensing problems. Can we discuss? 30-minute conference call. I provided documentation. License current, insurance active, 20 years of references. He sounded satisfied but wary. We'll proceed, but any other incidents we'll need to reconsider. One more call like that and I'm unemployable. Reggie and I spent that weekend drowning in paper. The HOA records Diane had dumped on my porch. 14 bankers' boxes, deliberately disorganized, some water damaged, technically compliant with my sunshine law request. Practically useless. Reggie brought 2 law students. We commandeered my dining room. That smell of old documents, musty paper, faded toner ink, cardboard, mixed with too much coffee and frustration. 11 hours of sorting. But we found gold. Diane's violation reports targeted 5 specific properties, all owned by single mothers or non-white families. Meeting minutes showed her proposing aesthetic standards to eliminate undesirable elements. Financial records showed $60,000 paid to Diane's LLCs over 3 years, consulting with no contracts, administrative fees with no explanation. Landscaping services 20% over market rate. Box 9 contained a handwritten note on Hartman Realty letterhead. Diane to another agent. Once we clear the holdouts, Meadowbrook becomes 100% compliant premium community. Working 3 problem properties now. Listings by fall. Commission split? Reggie photographed it. Intentional scheme. This is prosecutable. Civilly or criminally? Civil, definitely. Criminal needs the Attorney General. That's bigger machinery. Tuesday, an anonymous package arrived. Manila envelope, Kansas City postmark, no return address, USB drive inside. I called Reggie before opening it. We plugged it in together on speakerphone. 2 folders. First, emails. Diane coordinating with realtors to lowball targeted homeowners, discussing encouraging sales through violation pressure. One to her ex-husband, Lawrence. The Brennan Inn holding costs us premium pricing on every sale. I'll handle it. Second folder, HOA financial documents. Loan papers showing $340,000 owed to LK Development Holdings, Lawrence's company. Balloon payment due December 15th, 4 months away. A printed note. She did this to my family too. Kept documentation. Use it. A friend. Someone she ran off, I said. Someone who wants payback but moved away. Marla reviewed everything Wednesday. Her office. Coffee forgotten. Clicking through files for 40 minutes without speaking. Finally, this isn't neighbor dispute anymore. This is conspiracy to commit fraud. Potential RICO violations. She looked up. Question is, do you want to just sue Diane or dismantle the entire power structure? I waited. The HOA's broke. Balloon payment in 4 months they can't make. Developer will foreclose. Take the pool, clubhouse, common areas.